Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. It's time now for Konrad's This Week in Auto History. Do you have that?
Yep.
There's a big pause there, like, uh-oh, I got to do something
now. In
now.
1923, Garrett Morgan patents the three-position streetlight. Originally, the streetlight was
traffic light.
Traffic light, yeah. Originally, it was just red and green. Now, this, Garrett added the yellow to the middle of it, so that way you could, speed up a little bit before it turned red. Isn't that what yellow means? Step on the gas?
Try and clear the intersection before it turns red.
In 1954, the 50 millionth General Motors car was produced. General Motors Chevrolet General Manager Thomas Keating drove a gold-plated 1955 Bel Air Sport Coupe off the assembly plant in Flint, Michigan, making the 50 millionth automobile produced by General Motors. To commemorate the occasion, Chevrolet built 5,000 gold-plated Bel Airs. All of these were four-door models, and their trim remained in chrome. This, of course, was much less expensive than the 716 trim parts that were actually gold-plated on the one car. And that one car spent its time touring the country as a show car. Kind of like this, where did that car go? Nobody knows,
that car?
That one was a coupe, though.
It was a Ford, yeah.
The one that General Motors did was a coupe.
Okay.
The rest of them were four doors.
Four doors, okay. Oh, yeah, the one he drove off the display was a coupe, yeah. The story goes the man was planning to restore a rusty Bel Air drag car, and he found the old gold-plated one, and when the restorer was offering to swap cars with his friend, he discovered a bunch of gold-plated trim pieces in the trunk. A bit more research and called and found out that GM revealed the car's VIN matched that of the 50 millionth GM. He had the real gold car in his garage. General Motors supposedly offered the guy to restore the car so they could use for their 50th anniversary promotions in 2005. The owner passed away, and the car was lost somewhere up on the East Coast, and nobody knows where it is to this day. It's going to show up at some point. So somebody's going to find it, hopefully. In 1959, Ford announced the end of Edsel.
Thank God.
In 10 years of development, it cost $250 million, was spent on planning and marketing and manufacturing and distribution, and it did nothing for Ford but cause a financial fiasco. Facing a $350 million loss, Ford announced the discontinuation of the Edsel brand this week in 1959. In 1963, 60 years ago this week, JFK was shot in a Lincoln Continental convertible.
Yep.
Where were you? Do you remember?
Yes, I was at home, ill, watching television.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They say a lot of people will remember where they were when they heard of Lincoln getting shot. And
Lincoln. I didn't remember Lincoln,
but he was
I
in
was
a
close.
But Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln.
He was shot in a Lincoln.
Lincoln.
That car is on display at the Henry Ford in Detroit.
And that was my point. Yeah, that specific car is still on display.
Yes, it's not a convertible any longer, but it's on display.
And then in 1970, Ford announced the 351 Boss Mustang. Ford introduced that one-year-only Boss 351 Mustang in 1970 for the 1971 model year at the Detroit Auto Show. The vehicle featured a 351 Cleveland V8. Only 1,800
Cleveland Steamer.
Yeah, only 1,806 of the Boss 351 Mustangs were ever built for 71. Another one of those one-year-only cars. And I think I'm going to probably do a piece here on some of those one-year-only unique cars that were out there. Because I own one. But there's some pretty cool cars that were one-year-only cars. So that's it.
Cool.
That's this week in automotive history.